Hello everyone, Skune007 here, welcoming you to another exciting game in the 2008 replay with Inside Pitch. Today's game we have the 2-0 Los Angeles Angels taking on the 0-2 Minnesota Twins. And here is the starting lineup for the Los Angeles Angels. Leading off, the third baseman, Crone Figgins. Batting second, the left fielder, Gary Matthews. Batting third, the right fielder, Vladimir Guerrero. Batting fourth in the cleanup position, Garrett Anderson as the DH. Batting fifth, the center fielder, Torii Hunter. Batting sixth, the first baseman, Casey Coachman. Batting seventh, the second baseman, Harry Kendrick. Batting eighth, the catcher, Jeff Mathis. And batting ninth, the shortstop, Eric Ibar. On the mound for the Twins, it is Nick Blackburn. 11 wins, 11 losses, 4.05 ERA, 193.13 inning pitched, allowed 224 hits, 96 strikeouts, and 35 walks. Here at the Metrodome, it is a -1 to strikes and a -4 to walks. And Nick is done with his warming up, and we are underway. Crone Figgins batting a .286. And that's going to be a 4-2. That's going to be a 4-2 blank. And that's going to be a 2-3. And that's going to be a single pass to the shortstop. And Figgins is on. Infield at double play depth, Gary Matthews batting a 111. Strategy roll is an 8. And that's going to be a 4-1. That's going to be a range play. And that's going to be a 3-2. That's going to be a ground ball to Harris. Harris's range is a 0. That's a 5. That got by him there, and Figgins will go to third on a 3-6. His base run's a 4, and the Angels have runners on the corners. So they're going to bring the corners in. Vladimir Guerrero batting a .500 average, 16 on the strategy die. They're going to hold off. And that's going to be a 4-1. That's going to be a range play. And that's going to be a 4-4. That's going to be a single to first. And that range is on a 0. That's a 5. And it got by him. Now Matthews was on first. He'll go to third on a 2-6. That's a 2. He advances. No outs, runners on the corners. They're going to infield staying at normal depth. Strategy roll is a 6. And that's going to bring up Garrett Anderson, also batting a 111. 5-4. That's a walk. That's a 0. So we don't worry about that. 4-2, and that's going to be a ground ball to third base. And is he going to try to score? No. They're going to hold him. So Guerrero is going to go to third. And the out is at first. So 1 out, runners on second and third. And that's going to bring up Torii Hunter, batting a .222 average. Strategy rolls a 14. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a 1-6. That's going to be a blank. 3-5. Ground ball to third base. Let's see if they're going to try to score him now. No, they're still going to hold him. And the out is still at first. Two outs, runners on second and third. And that's going to bring up Casey Coachman. Strategy rolls a 19. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 5-5. That's going to be a blank. 5-4. That's going to be a single past center field. And let's see, Vladimir will go home on that's a 6. That's an automatic advance. Runner advances on a 6 or higher, and no throw. So 3 runs scored here in the first inning for the Angels. That's going to bring up Howie Kendrick, 18 on the strategy die. Here's the pitch. 2-6, that's going to be a wild pitch. On a 9, no. 5-5, that is a ground ball to second base. And that retires the side. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the first. And here is the starting lineup for the Minnesota Twins. Leading off, the center fielder, Carlos Gomez. Batting second, the second baseman, Benedine Harris. Batting third, the right fielder, Michael Cuttier. Batting fourth, the first baseman, Justin Monroe. In the cleanup position, batting fifth, the left fielder, Duman Young. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, Craig Monroe. Batting seventh, the center fielder, Mike Riedmond. Batting eighth, the third baseman, Nick Punto. And batting ninth, the shortstop, Matt Tobler. On the mound, it's Joey Sanders for the Angels. 17 wins, 7 losses, 3.41 ERA, 198 innings pitched, 187 hits, 103 strikeouts, and 51 walks. And he is done. Carlos is ready. Carlos batting a 125 average. 1-1. That's a strikeout. That's a 12. That's a 1. He struck him out. Next up is Harris. Here's the pitch. 1-2. That's going to be a wild pitch, so we're just going to re-roll that. And that's going to be a 2-5. That's going to be a possible error. 2-6. Line drive out there to the shortstop. For out number 2. Michael Cuttier, 500 average. And that's going to be a 1-5. That's going to be a strikeout. That's an 11. The 14 is too high. 5-4. Fly ball out there to center field for out number 3. Nothing across the board. 3 up, 3 down. The Angels retired them in order. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 1, it's Los Angeles 3. Minnesota, nothing. And it is Jeff, Nick, and Crone due up for the Angels. Jeff Mathis. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 5-1. That's going to be a strikeout. That's a 16. That's a 9. He struck him out. Next up is Eric Aybar. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 1-6. That's going to be a blank. And that's going to be a 5-5. That's going to be a question mark 8. That's a power hit out there to Gomez. And we have an 11. That's going to be a double on a 10-15. And Aybar hits a double out there. All right, we go to the top of the order. Crone Figgins, he's 1 for 1. Strategy rolls a 17. The infield coming to double play depth. And that's going to be a 4-4. That's going to be a strikeout. That's a 9. The 18 is too high. And that's going to be a 6-1. That's going to be a ground ball to the shortstop. And let's see. Runners advancing ball, sit to the shortstop pitcher. If the BR beats the D6, it does. And the out is at first. 2 outs, runner in scoring position. Here's the pitch. Gary Matthews, 1 for 1. Runs scored already in this game. 1-1, possible error. And that's going to be a 1-4. That's going to be a ground ball to the shortstop. And Toblitz errors on a 1-5. That's a 13. No error there. And that is out. Makes the out. Takes it, tosses it over to first. For out number 3. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. The Angels leave 1 stranded. We go to the bottom of the second. It is Justin Delman and Greg due up for the Twins. Justin Monroe batting a .286 average. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 6-4. That's going to be a blank. And that's going to be a 6-6. That's going to be a fly ball out there to Matthews for out number 1. Had to go right underneath that to make the catch. Delman Young batting a .125 average. Here's the pitch. 2-1 range play. And that's going to be a 5-6. That's going to be a single past Guerrero. That's out there to Guerrero. Guerrero's range is on a 1. That's a 2. And Delman gets on base. Delman batting a .125 average. All right, let's take a look here. Delman Young is a right-handed batter. We have a steal. That's going to be a +1. That's going to be a 16. That's going to be a 15. And that is a 15 right on the nose. And Delman steals second on that. Runner in scoring position. Craig Monroe batting a .250 average. And that's going to be a 4-6. That's going to be a possible error on a ground ball. And then that's going to be a 5-5. That's going to be a ground ball to third base. Figgins' error rating is on a 1-4. That's a 2. That's an error. And that is a 1-base error. So the Twins now have runners on the corners. 1 out. They're going to bring the corners in. Mike is up. He's batting a 500 average. Strategy roll is a 15. And that's going to be a 3-2. That's going to be a possible error on a throw. And that's going to be a 5-2. That's a ground ball to second base. Kendrick's error rating is on a 1-2. 15, no error there. And is he going to try to score? Yes. Will the defense try? No. So on a fielder's choice, the out is going to take place on a roll of a 6, the play takes place at first. Young going to score. Craig will go to second, and the out takes place at first. 2 outs, Twins with a run scored, and that's going to bring up Nick Punto. Here's the pitch. Strategy roll is a 5. And that's going to be a 3-4. That's going to be a blank. And that's going to be a 3-1. That's going to be a single past Guerrero. Monroe, he ties that. It's equal to the 3 or less. So from 2 to home, we're going to add 1. That's where we get the 3. And he does advance. And the Twins make this a 1-run lead. Matt Tolblet up. Here's the pitch. Strategy roll is a 17. Infield at normal depth. And that's going to be a 4-5. That's going to be a strikeout. That's a 9. That's an 8. He struck him out. Nope, we're good on that. So we don't need to make... So the Twins, 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error. They make this a 1-run game. After 2... it's Los Angeles 3, Twins 2. And on due up is Vladimir, Garrett, and Torrey due up for the Angels. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a 5-2. That's going to be a strike. That's a 7. The 14 is too high. 2-3, fly ball out there to center fielder Gomez for out number 1. Garrett Anderson 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 3-6. That's going to be a walk result. That's a 0. And that's going to be a 3-5. That's going to be a single past left field. So that's going to go past Young. And Monroe and Garrett is on base. And that's going to bring up Torrey Hunter. Strategy roll is a 10. Infield at normal depth. 1-4. That's going to be a hit by pitch. That's going to be a 6. He -1s. That's a 20. Nothing there. And that's going to be a 6-2. That's going to be a double star. That's going to be a fly out there to Young for out number 2. Casey now up. Casey's 1 for 1. Here's the pitch. Strategy rolls a 4. Infield at normal depth. And that's going to be a 2-4. That's going to be a blank. And that's going to be a 2-6. That's going to be a fly ball out there to Cuttier for out number 3. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. The Angels leave 1 stranded. As we go to the bottom of the 3rd, it is Carlos Bernadine, And Michael due up for the Twins. We'll go to the top of the order here in the third. Gomez 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 6-3. That's going to be a blank. And that is going to be a 4-4. That's going to be a double star 6. Fly ball out there to set to left field. Matthews getting that for out number 1. Harris up. He's 0 for 1. The pitch. And that's going to be a 5-3. That is a blank. And that's going to be a 2-4. That's going to be a fly ball out there to right field. Guerrero making that catch for out number 2. Michael Cuttier, 0 for 1. The pitch. And that's going to be a 6-1. That's going to be a walk plus. We add 10, but we minus 4, so we're adding 6. That's a 19. That's an 8. They walk Michael. So runner on first, base on balls, and that's going to bring up Justin Monroe. He's 0 for 1. Strategy roll is a 5. Infield at normal depth. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 5-5. That's going to be a blank. And that's going to be a 1-3. That's going to be a single. Cuttier is on second. He will advance to third on a 5-6. And that's 3, so he gets the hold. Tying run on second. Young up. He's 1 for 1. Strategy roll is a 10. Here's the pitch. 4-4 blank. 1-5 ground ball to the shortstop. And that is out number 3. The Twins leave 2 stranded. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. At the end of 3, it is Los Angeles 3, Minnesota 2. Due up for the Angels, it is Howie, Jeff, and Eric. All right, here's the pitch to Howie. He's 0 for 1. That's going to be a 2-2. That's going to be a blank. And that's going to be a 2-4. Fly ball out there to right field for out number 1. Jeff Mathis, 0 for 1. Struck out his last time up. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 3-4. Home run chance on a 14. That's an 8. Does not get it. The 14 is too high. And that's going to be a 5-3. That's going to be a ground ball back to the pitcher. Blackburn gets it, tosses it over to Monroe for out number 2. Eric Ibar, 1 for 1. Doubled his last time up. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 6-1. That's going to be a possible error on a throw. And that's going to be a 3-4, question mark 7. That's going to be a single. 17 on that. Young's error rating is on a 1-6. No error. And Ibar gets on base. Cone Figgins batting 1 for 2. Strategy rolls a 13. Infield at normal depth. And that's going to be a 6-3. That's going to be a range play. And that's going to be a 4-6 ground ball to third base. Range is on a 1-3. On a 1. Punter's ranges on a 1 to 4. That's a 3, and that's out number 3. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors. They leave 1 stranded. As we go to the bottom of the 4th, it is Craig, Mike, and Nick due up for the Twins. Craig is 0 for 1, has a run scored. 6-6. Strikeout, that's a 14. That's a 1. They struck him out. Next up, Mike Redmond. He's 0 for 1, RBI. He's an RBI, 6-1. That's going to be a walk plus. That's a 10. And they walk him. And that is going to bring up Nick. Nick is 1 for 1 with an RBI. Strategy roll is a 7. And that's going to be a 6-2 at the ballpark. So first time this game, we're going to go to the Metronomes card. 3-4, and that's a single. Single out there to Matthews. Range, and now does Redmond advance? That is no. He's going to hold. That's a 0. All right. And if you're going to come in, they have a sacrifice play coming up. Here's the pitch. 6-4. That's going to be a blank. Lead runner thrown out. Batter. Hitter safe at first. So the lead runner is thrown out. So the lead runner is thrown out, and that's going to be in a fielder's choice. And they now have runners on first and second. And once again, the Twins have a runner, the tying run in scoring position. We go to the top of the order. Carlos Gomez, he's 0 for 2. 4-1. That is an auto out. That's going to be a fly ball out there to center field. And that retires the side. The Twins, once again, leave 2 stranded. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. We go to the top after 4. It is Los Angeles 3, Minnesota 2. As we go to the top of the 5th, it is Gary, Vladimir, and Garrett due up. And Garrett due up for the Angels. Here's the pitch to Gary. And that's going to be a 2-1. That's going to be a strikeout. That's a 12. The 20 is too high. 3-5. Ground ball to the third base for out number 1. Vladimir is 1 for 2. Running an RBI. And that is going to be a 3-5. That's a strikeout. That's a 7. The 18 is too high. And that's going to be a 4-1. That's going to be a line drive out there to third base for out number 2. Garrett Anderson up. He's 1 for 2. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 2-6. That's going to be a wild pitch, so we're going to re-roll. 2-1. Strikeout. The 6 is the 10. That's a 6. That's a 10. The 10 is too high. 1-5. That's a question mark 7. That's a 10. And that's a fly ball out there to Young for out number 3. Well, the Twins retire them in order. 3 up, 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the fifth. It is Harris, Michael, and Justin due up for the Twins. Here's the pitch to Brandon. He's 0 for 2. And that's going to be a 5-2. That's going to be an auto out. That's going to be a ground ball to second base. Kendrick gets that, tosses over to Coachman for out number 1. Michael up. He's 0 for 1. That's going to be a 3-2. That's going to be a possible error on a throw. And that's going to be a 2-4. Double star 3. Ground ball to first base. That's going to second base. Error rating is on a 1-2. That's a 1. And that's a 1 base error there. So Cuttier gets on base due to an error by Kendrick. Gets it and bobbles the ball. Justin Monroe, he's 1 for 2. Strategy rolls a 15. Infield coming to double play depth. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 5-4 strikeout. That's a 5. The 14 is too high. And that's going to be a 5-4 fly ball to center field out there to Hunter for out number 2. Infield at normal depth. Strategy rolls a 19. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 5-2. That is an auto out there to Hunter for out number 3. No runs. No runs, no hits, 1 error. And the Twins once again leave 1 stranded. After 5, it is Los Angeles 3, Minnesota 2. We go to the top of the 6th. It is Torrey, Cassie, and Howie due up for the Angels. Nick can face 3 more batters before he's tired. Here's Torrey. He's 0 for 2. And that's going to be a 2-6. That's going to be a wild pitch. We're going to re-roll that. And that's going to be a 6-2. That's going to be a blank. And that's going to be a 1-3. That's going to be a double star 5. And that's a ground ball to the shortstop for out number 1. Casey Coachman, 1 for 2. And that's going to be a 2-4. That's going to be a blank. And that's going to be a 3-5. And that is a question mark 7. So it's going to be a question mark out there to Young. That's a 17. And that's an out for out number 2. Howie Kendrick, 0 for 2. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 5-5. That's going to be a blank. And that's going to be a 5-6. That's a double. And Howie smacks one out there way past Cuttier. Has to go chasing after it. And he gets the double. All right, Nick is now tired. And that's going to bring up Jeff Mathis. Strategy roll is an 18. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a 6-6. That's going to be a walk. That's a 7. That's a 3. They walk him. All right. So they're going to go out there and talk to Nick on the mound real quick. He's got 1 out. And that's going to bring up Eric Ibar. He's 2 for 2. Strategy rolls an 11, so no strategy going on there. 5-4. That's a walk. Eric has a 0 for a walk, so he does not walk him. And that's going to be a 4-6. That's going to be a ground ball to the shortstop. And that's going to retire the side. The Angels leave 2 stranded. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 6th. And it's going to be Craig, Mike, and Nick due up for the Twins. Craig, 0 for 2. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 6-3. That's going to be a blank. 2-5. That's going to be a single pass. Mathis. And that is going to be out for a single. All right, we got a hit and run. Infield staying at normal depth. Here's the pitch. 2-1. Range play. 6-2. Ground ball to the shortstop. To the shortstop. Ibar's range is on a 1-3. That's a 5. That's going to be a fail. He didn't get it in time. And Monroe gets the hold sign at second. Tying run on second. And that's going to bring up Nick Punto. Nick is 2 for 2. And that's going to be a 6-4. That's going to be a blank. 3-4. That's a double. That's a double. The Twins tie it up. But can they take the lead? We have a 1. Let's take a look. Lead runner advances. If roll is less than or equal to the trailing runner's BR, trailing runner advances. Mike will advance. Punto goes to third. And now the Twins have the lead. And a runner is in scoring position. No runs. Joe is now tired. And the Twins come back to score 2 runs here in the bottom of the 6th. Joe Sanders now tired, and that's going to do it. The skipper is going to go out there and pull Joe Sanders. We have a switch right coming up for Los Angeles. So let's see who they are going to bring. They want someone, let's see, Chris. They're going to bring on the right-handed pitcher, Chris Butchek. Let's take a look at his stats here. No wins, 1 loss, has a 10.13 ERA, 16 innings pitched, allowed 30 hits, 14 strikeouts, and 12 walks. And let's take a look at Joe's stats as he exits the game. 5 innings pitched, allowed 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. ERA, 5.40. And Chris is done doing his warm-up tosses. Matt Toblet now up. He's 0 for 2. Strategy roll is an 8. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 5-6. That's going to be a strikeout plus. That's a 19. That's a 1. He struck him out. All right, strategy roll is a 1. Carlos Gomez up. He's 0 for 3. Here's the pitch. 1-2. Possible error. 2-2. Single to second. Kendrick's range is on a 1-2. That's a 14. No error there. And that's going to score Nick. And the Twins now have a 2-run lead. All right. Harris up. Harris is 0 for 3. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 2-3. That's going to be a question mark. Single on a 1-13. That's a 20. The 20 is too high. 3, 5, 6. That's going to be a double star 6. And that's a fly ball out there to Hunter for out number 2. Michael Cuddyer up. 0 for 2. Here's the pitch. Strategy roll is an 11. They're going to hold off. And that's going to be a 1-3. That's a strikeout. That's a 7. The 10 is too high. 1-1. Double star 2. Fly ball out there to Hunter for out number 3. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors. The Twins rallied back to take the lead by 2 runs. After 6, it's Minnesota 5, Los Angeles 3. It is Cron, Gary, and Vladimir due up for the Angels. And that is going to do it for Nick. We have a switch rate coming up. And they're going to bring in Jesse. Yep. They're going to bring in, the Twins are going to bring in and they're going to bring in Matt Guerrier to pitch this inning. 6 wins, 9 losses, 1 save, 5.19 ERA, 76.13 innings pitched, allowed 84 hits, 59 strikeouts, 28 walks. Nick Blackburn, 6 innings, allowed 8 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, 4.50 ERA. All right, here is the pit. Cron, Harry, and Vladimir due up, so Matt is facing the top of the order. And that's going to be a 2-4. That's going to be a walk. That's an 11. The 16 is too high. 4-1. Fly ball out there to Gomez for out number 1. Gary Matthews, 1 for 3. Here's the pitch. 1-6. Range play at the Metrodome. And that's going to be a 5-3. That's going to be a pop-up to the pitcher. To the catcher, sorry. Catcher's range is on a 1-2. That's a 2. And he got it. 2 outs. Guerrero up. 1 for 3. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 6-6. That's going to be a strikeout. That's a 7. The 19 is too high. And that's going to be a 2-2. That's going to be a question mark 8. So we're going to check Gomez. That's a 9. That's a double. On a 6-13, the 9 hits a double.
He rocks one to right center field. That'll shoot the gap and go to the wall. And one hops the wall.
And the ball hops off the wall. It's a one-hopper off the wall. Guerrero tosses it, and he is safe at second. And that's going to bring up Garrett Anderson. 1 for 3. Strategy roll is a 5. Infield at normal depth. Runner in scoring position. 4, 5. That's going to be a strikeout. That's a 6. The 15 is too high. And that's going to be a 2-1. That's going to be a single to Cuttier. Guerrero will advance. That is a 4. That ties it. And the Angels now make this a 1-run game. All right, let's see. Torii Hunter up. He's 0 for 3. Strategy roll is a 10. Runner on first. That's going to be a 4-6. That's going to be a range play. And that's going to be a 4-2. That is a fly ball out to Gomez. And that is going to retire the side. Sing, take me out to the ball game. Oh, wait. I got ahead of myself on that. Sorry, that was a range play. Gomez's range is on a 1-4. That's a 5. That's going to be a single. And let's see. Lead runner advances. We have a 6. So lead runner advances. Ball cut off. Trailing runner caught in a showdown. And that is going to be a 4. If roll is greater than the BR, the runner out, no advancement for others. If roll is less than or equal to the BR, runner out, others advance. So if the roll is less than or equal to, which it is, the BR, base runner out, others will advance. And that is an out. He is tagged out, going to second, gets in the rundown between first and second, tries to go to second, and he is tagged out at second, and that is going to retire the side. All right, 1 run, 3 hits, no errors. And we have Justin Young and Craig due up for the Twins in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Let's take a look at the box scores of this game so far. LA scoring 3 runs in that first inning, and they pick up another run in the top half of the 7th. Minnesota came back, scored 2 in the second inning, and they scored 3. They have a 1-run lead, 5 runs on 8 hits. LA, 4 runs on 11 hits, 2 errors so far in this game. All right. So Chris can face 5 more batters before he's tired. We're here in the bottom of the 7th. It's Justin, Young, and Craig due up for the Twins. Justin is 1 for 3. And that's going to be a 6-6. That's going to be a single. Didn't even have to check Justin's card on that one. That was a single to first. So we have a strategy roll. We have a 1, and that is going to be a hit and run. Infield going to come in for this. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 4-3. That's going to be a walk plus. That's a 9. That's a 1. They walk him. And that is a base on balls for Young. They walk him. Craig Monroe. He's 1 for 2. I'm sorry, 1 for 3. Struck out 2 runs. Strategy rolls a 12. Infield going to be at double play depth. Here's the pitch. Runners on first and second. 2-1. Strikeout. That's an 18. That's a 2. They struck him out. Mike Redmond, 1 for 2 now. Strategy rolls a 7. Infield going to normal depth. Here's the pitch. 6-1. Strikeout. That's a 3. The 13 is too high. 5-2. Ground ball to second base. That's a Justin will advance to third. Young, the roll is high, so that's going to be a force out at second. They get him out at second, and Mike takes first on a fielder's choice on that. And that's going to bring up Nick. Nick is 3 for 3. Strategy rolls a 19. Corners are going to come in. 1-3. Strikeout. That's a 10. That's a 7. He struck him out. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors for the Twins as they leave 2 stranded. It's going to be Casey, Howie, and Jeff due up for the Twins. And the Twins are going to go to the bullpen as we have a left-right coming up here. And they are going to go with they're going to bring in Craig Barslow. Craig Barslow to pitch this inning. 2 losses, 1 save, 1.91 ERA, 47 innings pitched, 34 hits, 39 strikeouts, and 17 walks. Matt Guerrier pitched 1 inning, allowed 3 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, and has a 9.0 ERA. After 7, it's Twins 5, Angels 4. Casey, Howie, and Jeff due up for the Angels. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 4-5. That's going to be a walk. That's a 2. That's a 1. They walk him. All right, next up, Howie Kendrick, 1 for 3. Strategy rolls a 16. Infield coming to double play depth. 5-5. That's going to be a walk. That's a 0. 1-6. That's a double. Casey holds at third. That's a 0. All right, infield at normal depth. Strategy rolls an 8. Jeff Mathis 0 for 2. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 3-6. That's going to be at the ballpark, so we're going to the Metrodome. And that's going to be a 1-4. That's a fly ball to Cuttier. And that is roll 1d6 is less than. And the runner does score. And the Angels have tied this game up, tying the go-ahead run now on second. All right, let's see. Howie is a 15. Howie is a right-handed batter. That's going to be a -1. That's going to bring you down to a 14. That's going to make it a 16. And that's a 1. The runner is safe. But let's see, do we have a throwing error? And we do, and he steals home. And the Angels have a 1-run, take the lead back. It's a 1-run game now in favor of Los Angeles. And that's going to be a 2-4. That's going to be a walk plus. And they're going to walk Ibar. And they're going to go out there to the mound. And they're going to pull Craig. They are not happy with that. So we have a switch coming up. And they're going to bring in Bobby Corky to come in. 2 wins, no losses, a 4.58 ERA, 17.2 innings pitched, 19 hits, 6 strikeouts, 8 walks. Sacrifice play on that infield coming in. And that's going to be a 1-4. That's going to be a home run chance. And that is a successful bunt on that. So Ibar goes to second, and Figgins is out at first on that bunt. Strategy rolls a 6. 2 outs. Top of the 8th. Here's the pitch. 3-3. Possible error on a throw. And that's going to be a 5-2. That's going to be a ground ball back to the pitcher. Error rating is a 0. That's a 3. No error there. Takes it, tosses over to first for out number 3 to retire the side. No, when we look at that. 2 runs, 1 hit, no errors. 1 error, actually. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. It is Matt, Carlos, and Harris due up. Chris is tired, so they are going to pull him. And the Angels are going to bring in Darren. They're going to bring in Darren Oliver. We have a switch right coming up. Darren Oliver, 7 wins, 1 loss, 2.88 ERA, 72 innings pitched, allowed 67 hits, 48 strikeouts, 14 walks. And for Chris, he pitched 2 innings, allowed 2 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Did I miss anything? And no, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. All right, here's the pitch to Matt. 3-1 strikeout. That's a 9. They struck him out, and that is a 9, so it's right on the money. And that's going to be going to the top of the order. Carlos Gomez, 1 for 4. Strikeout and RBI. And that's going to be a 1-4. That's going to be a blank. That's going to be a 5-3. Fly ball out there to Hunter. for out number 2. Brandon Harris, 0 for 4. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 4-5. Range play at the Metrodome. 6-1. Ground ball to Figgins. Figgins ranges on a 1-3. That's a 4. That's a double. And Harris, the tying run, now on second. And that's going to bring up Michael Cuttier to hit. And he is 0 for 3. They are not going to let him hit. And they are going to bring in to pinch hit for him, for the right fielder. They are going to bring in Joe Manor to come in to pitch hit for him. All right, let's see what he can do. Strategy roll is a 5. They want to try to tie this game up. 2-5. Strike. That's a 2. They struck him out. And they leave one stranded. And we do need a right fielder. So Dill Span is going to come in to play right field. Harris, second base. And they're going to bring in Clark to take over second base for that. All right. Let's see, Monroe for first. Yep. And they're going to make... And Matt Mercy's going to come in to play first. So they're going to make some changes out there. They're going to try to hold the Angels. So we have Darren Span taking over in right field and Matt Mercy playing first. Second base is now played by Clark as well. All right. It is Vladimir, Garrett, and Torrey due up. Bobby is going to pitch this inning, and we have a 1-5. That's going to be a walk. That's a 3. That's a 5. They walk him. And the crowd boos Garrett Anderson. But the big question is here, will we see some ninth inning magic? Let's take a look at the score real quick. Los Angeles came back, scored 2 in the 8th to put them up by a run. Minnesota scored in the 2nd and in the 6th. Strategy rolls a 19. Infield going to double play depth. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 1-6. That's going to be a walk. That's a 0. No, they don't walk Anderson. 2-6. Fly ball out there to Span. And that is out number 1. Strategy roll is a 1. So we're going to try to steal. That's a 0. That's going to be a 15. That's a 2. He steals second. We have a throwing error here. And that is going to put Guerrero on third. Redmond with an error on that. So Hunter comes up. He's 1 for 4. 1 out, infield at normal depth. 3-6. That's going to be a blank. 2-3. Ground ball back to the pitcher. Is he going to try to score? Yes. and they are going to try for the out at home plate. So, Guerrero scores, and the out is at first. And the Angels now have a 2-run lead. Korchek, they are going to... Well, he's got 2 outs. He's going to finish the inning at least. He's going to try to finish this inning. 2-2, strikeout 8. That's a 3. That's an 8. Too high. 3-2, ground ball to the shortstop. And that is going to retire the side. 1 run, no hits, no errors. Twins down by 2. And this is a save situation. So Oliver is going to come out and they're going to bring in they're going to bring in their saver, Rodriguez, to see if he can pitch the save here for this game. So Rodriguez has 1 save already in the replay, 1 inning pitched, allowed 1 hit, 2 strikeouts, no walks. Can he get the save? Matt Mercy. 3-4. That's going to be a blank. Twins down by 2. 1-2. Fly ball out there to Hunter for out number 1. Young up. Young is 1 for 3. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 6-1. That's going to be a wild ball. A wild pitch, so we're going to re-roll. Ball 1. 4-1. That's going to be a walk. That's a 4. That's a 5. Just outside of range. 4-5. Ground ball to first base. And the Twins are down to their last out. Craig Monroe up. He's 1 for 4. Here's the pitch. 1-3. Blank. 4-3. Ground ball to the shortstop. And that's the ball game. The Angels come back to win this game 7-5. Final line score coming right up. So Chris Butchek, Los Angeles wins this one 7-5. The Twins came back, had the lead, and they lost it in the 8th with a two-run lead. And the Angels just cemented it by 2 runs in the 9th on that. So Los Angeles wins 7 runs on 12 hits, 2 errors. Minnesota 5 runs on 10 hits, also committing 2 errors in the game. Chris Butchek gets the win. Craig Barslow draws the loss. Rodriguez gets the save. And let's take a look here. Chris Butchek gets the win. 2 innings pitched, allowed 2 hits, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. No ERA. Craig Barslow gets the loss. He only pitched 1/3 of an inning, allowed 1 hit, 2 runs, 1 earned run, 1 walk, ERA of 30. So no home runs for either team. And that's going to do it for us here at the Twins at the Metrodome. If you like what you see here, give the video a thumbs up. I'll see you next time for another exciting game in the 2008 replay with Inside Pitch. Until then, I'm Scooney 007. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.